My boyfriend, 24M, left me, 20F, because of my hair. Now he wants me back? So, this might sound dumb, but my boyfriend of 2 years, 24M, broke up with me, 20F, because of my hair, or at least that was the final straw. Ever since I was a kid I've always struggled with super dry and frizzy hair, and at the time I was using a new serum and styling it a little bit different, which I thought looked good. And one day he asked me to go see some movie with him. I forget exactly what movie it was, but it was some horror thing. Not that it really matters, except it does, because I hate horror movies and I've told him that 1,000 times, and he knew but still picked that one specific movie. Anyways, I spent like an hour before we went out getting ready. I put together a nice outfit, did my full hair routine and makeup routine. I put effort into making sure I looked good. So then tell me why after the movie, when I am getting out of the car, he turns to me and just casually says, "You kinda look like Beetlejuice RN." Like, TF, you mean I look like Beetlejuice? And then he just kept giggling, so I slammed the door and walked away, and I think he realized he made a mistake because he factchecked me and said it was just a joke about how our hair was similar and that my face was really pretty, like that makes it any better. We got into a whole fight about it and he ended things over FaceTime. After the breakup, I spiraled for a while but finally decided to fix my hair once and for all, if not for him, then for me. I tried everything until I found something that finally told me what was actually wrong with my hair. Now my hair is soft and healthier than it's ever been. This was about 4 months ago, and but guess who came crawling back? My ex saw me at a party and said I look like a whole new person. Now he's texting me, begging for another chance. Honestly, I feel conflicted. Do I take him back? IDK, maybe I was overreacting the first time arguing over such a small comment, but also I know he wouldn't be trying to talk to me again if it wasn't for me fixing my hair. Someone who makes fun of your appearance and breaks up with you because of your hair is not someone who will support you through illness, aging, or body changes due to childbirth. Do you have any self-respect or not? You spent time getting ready for someone who was supposed to be your partner and he mocked you. Now he thinks you look better and thinks he can call your name and you'll start running. Tell him that you may look like a whole new person, but he's unfortunately the same old asshole. Block. Delete. No, you're not overreacting because you're not the one who broke up with him over an argument. He dumped you over an argument. Don't lose sight of it. Tell him the new guy you're seeing doesn't appreciate you texting him, then block him. No reason to encourage this buffoonery. He took you to a horror movie you didn't want to see and you agreed? Don't date anyone until you grow a backbone and learn to say no to things you don't enjoy. If you can't even protect yourself from seeing an unwanted film, then how will you avoid a sexual or physically abusive partner? See a therapist or get some assertiveness training or books to read. You are not safe to date anyone until you are able to refuse things you don't like. Nope, next time it will be something else. I, F30, just discovered a lot about my boyfriend, M29, and I can't handle it all. I need help. It's right before Valentine's Day and I don't know how to react appropriately right now. I have a lot of feelings going on and I really need someone to help me figure out what it is I'm supposed to do. I have been with my partner for 6 years. After the first year, we moved in together and shortly we started to have problems. I always thought it was a porn problem and it took a huge toll on me. I have felt every bad feeling possible. We talked about it, didn't work. So we just kept arguing about it. I always just told him I just wanted love and commitment. It was a regular thing. For the longest time he insisted it was something wrong with me. I wasn't doing something right. I wasn't being sexy enough or I needed to lose weight, etc. So many things over the years I have changed or tried to do better at to please him. I don't even know who I am anymore because I've spent so much time trying to be like the girls I thought he wanted. I struggle in bed even because I'm so self-conscious of it and feel like I look nothing like them. Well, last fall, I had this nagging feeling that wouldn't go away. These conversations about porn never got any better. He just insisted he needed it and I didn't satisfy him. It broke me. I begged him to stop and love me instead. I ended up looking through his phone and seeing Grindr and other dating apps in his Google history. And it looked like he downloaded and deleted Reddit every day while I was at work. I haven't figured out how to log into any other dating apps in or his Reddit, but of course I got into Grindr. It had nothing filled out on it and no messages. I thought maybe he did it for some stupid reason and moved on, but I know it was while he was with me because he used an email he recently got. I just put it in the back of my mind mostly. We've had a lot of ups and downs in this relationship. It never was good for long. We recently had a great 10-day stretch where we were both happy it seemed and we had a lot of sex and I was really happy. I love when we're happy. But then, every time I made a move on him, I get rejected. He told me he wanted me to do that more, so I was. And he rejected me, much like all the other times. It stung and so I kinda stopped being happy. And back to the low part of the relationship. Why can we only have sex when he wants it? And why does he insist on me initiating it then? It didn't make sense. Nothing made sense ever. We had a fight and he told me he was unsure about his sexual orientation. This actually caught me off guard, so I downloaded Grindr on my phone and used a different email of his and it signed in. I don't know when he made that one because it was an older email, but he did have access to it when he was with me. He didn't have any photos, but the information on the page was his. It made me panic. I looked through our previous messages with the same conversation about our relationship and sex and porn over and over. I realized so many of them recently. He told me he was confused and he wanted more. I thought he meant women, and it hurt me so bad every time he would say things like that. Why wasn't I enough for him? Why did he need more women? It really shattered me time and time again. But now it all clicked. I told him we had to talk, and he didn't want to. So I said, I know you have Grindr accounts. And he looked at me, shocked. And he said, how do you know that? I said, you didn't deny it. I've known about it for a while. Why would you do this to me? I love you. He yelled at me, while crying, and told me he loves me, but he's tired of lying and hiding who he is and that he's never got to be his true self. He wouldn't talk more. He left, didn't come back until midnight. I am so hurt right now. I'm not upset if he likes men. It is something I'm not used to, and am confused about. But I'm insanely hurt about the betrayal. The lies, the secret life he's had behind my back. I have had a gut feeling for some time and have asked him numerous times if something was going on. He even yelled at me that there is nothing happening. This whole time until recently, he was telling me I was the problem and destroying my self-image and making me feel worthless. He was living a secret life while I was at work, enjoying other men. He was making me feel like I am the problem. He hasn't been working and I have been financially supporting him and paying the internet bill he uses to do this on. I guess I don't know the extent of it, what he's really fully done. I just know the possibilities given what I found. I know this is cheating and I can barely believe it. It feels like my heart has stopped but my body won't quit quivering. He knows I was cheated on before and it destroyed me, and he's done this for who knows how long. And how far he's taken it. When we had our ups, I really thought he loved me. But now, I don't know if he even likes women at all, because he won't say anything. I don't know how to react or where to go from here. How to handle my pain of it all and if I will ever trust him again. I think I am the only person that knows about this and I don't know how to be supportive because I'm hurting so bad. I don't know if I need to leave him or what. I don't know what to think or what to do. I know our relationship has never been great, but I had hope that one day things could work out and we could be happy. Now I fear the only options are bad. Someone please, I need guidance on this. Never change who you are to try to become what someone else wants. Never stay with anyone who tells you that you aren't sexy or attractive or who says something is wrong with you. You have sprinted by red flag after red flag and all for someone who puts you down and then says you are the problem. He didn't destroy your self-image. If you had had good self-esteem, you would have never tolerated anyone saying these things about you. I know this is harsh, but I wouldn't be helping you by saying this is totally on him. I strongly suggest getting with a therapist after dumping guy and really finding out why you would stay with someone who was cruel time and time again. I stopped reading where you mentioned that out of the 6 years that you've lived with him you had a good 10-day stretch. How did you even stay with him this long? It sounds like it got miserable as soon as you moved in with him and it's been awful ever since. Have you heard of the sunk cost fallacy? You're falling for it and I don't even understand why, because it sounds like this relationship has been terrible the whole time except for a good 10 days recently. Do you really need our advice here? Why would you stay with this man? Well, he said he needs more and refused to talk to you about it. I say let him go and find happiness with someone who loves and wants you. I don't think there is any chance of it to work out since he doesn't want it to. You need to go to therapy ASAP because you should not have allowed a man to treat you like this for 6 years. You need someone to help build you back up and regain your confidence, and you need to dump this loser of a guy. This man can't admit to himself that he's gay and abuses you because of that. Get rid of him, get a Tinder account, and get your confidence in order. 'Cause you are not unsexy, girl. Did I just read? I don't know how to be supportive. What the fuck? Love, you need to support yourself, like right now. Yes, you leave him and never ever look back. Help, I am struggling to leave my husband. How do I leave without the guilt? I am 36F and he is 50M. Okay, so I have been with my husband for 16 years, we have 3 kids. I am 36F and he is 50M. He is a musician, producer and has made decent money in the past, but because of irresponsible money handling we never were able to get ahead of anything financial. I was a stay-at-home mom for 4 years and he supported us through income, debt, social services like cash aid and food stamps and borrowing from family. I work full-time now as a CNA, and pick up quite a bit of overtime as well. His career has slowed down considerably and he has yet to get a stable part-time job to sustain. He does watch the kids when I am at work, and is a great loving attentive dad, but oddly I feel guilty because he complains about not being able to work or get things done for his career. I know this isn't rational, but after years of dysfunction it's the way my brain is wired. He gets paid so irregularly and never on time that we end up doing desperate things like going into high-interest debt to support ourselves. His career also requires he spends money for travel, computer, hard drives, music managers and all sorts of other expenses. By the time we get our take-home money from his job it is hardly anything. We are in massive amounts of debt, our credit is horrible. I will take partial responsibility for my credit, since I have made decisions that weren't the best either, by enabling him and allowing my credit to suffer. I love him and the kids love him, but I am so unhappy and don't want to continue in this dysfunctional relationship anymore. I am not thriving like I know I am capable of. I am a frugal spender for the most part and don't care for living an extravagant lifestyle. I want to downsize our house size or save money, but he doesn't want to. I want to live on a shoestring budget so he can get out of debt, he doesn't want to. I want him to get involved in budgeting, financial planning and bill paying, but he won't. He came from money and in ways feels entitled to a certain lifestyle that we are currently not capable of. He is not social, we don't have any friends together to hang out with. I just feel like I'm drowning all the time. I can't spend my life waiting on big breaks and what ifs with his career. I don't know how to leave him because we have kids and honestly I don't know how he would figure out getting a place, a car, a license by himself, and I feel my kids would suffer and resent me for this. Any advice on how to start the process without having the huge burden on guilt on my shoulder or any similar experiences and outcomes? Mind you, if we didn't have kids, I would have been gone years ago. #relationship, #dysfunctional, #divorce, #marriage. He is 50, not 15 you say? Why doesn't he have a license? We are talking driver's license? Girl, run. Pack a bag and scurry out under the cloak of darkness. Man doesn't have a driver's license so it's not like he can follow you. All side-eyeing aside, the kids will be fine. Guilt and obligation is not a good enough reason to stay. Okay, so I have been with my husband for 16 years, we have 3 kids. I am 36F and he is 50M. So, you were 20 and he was 34 when you started dating? Yeah, I could have predicted that this would not end well. I don't know how to leave him because we have kids and honestly I don't know how he would figure out getting a place, a car, a license by himself. He's 50. It's time for him to learn how to be a grown-up. Hopefully, you leaving will provide the motivation for him to do that. And I feel my kids would suffer and resent me for this. Try to be best parent and example for them that you can be, so they'll see that any difficulties he faces are the results of his actions. I mean, first of all, you're with a boss who married a 20-year-old when he was 34. Try therapy? Edit. Therapy for you only. Not couples therapy. Therapy to help you process why this is your life and how to change it. There is a reason your husband wanted you. He knew you would be naive enough to dismiss, or not see all his red flags. Leave, and get therapy. Staying together, for the kids, is always a problem. The kids will never end up appreciating it because all they see is the tension in the relationship. So if you're as done as you sound, you're doing your kids a favor by leaving. Also, this dude married a 20-year-old when he was 34. That's creepy. Your first step is to speak to a lawyer and go from there. I am 25. Just discovered that the girl I'm going out with is F18 and I don't know what to do. I, 25M, started going out with this girl, 18F. We met at nightclub about a month and a half ago. I met her in our hometown. I live in a different country than my hometown, when I went back home for the holidays. When she met me, she introduced herself as a 20-year-old and the only other information that I got from her was her name, and for the context of this post, let's name her Sarah. We didn't hook up at all that night, but ended up having some long and deep conversations back at her place. The following day, we went out for a date, and during the date, those deep conversations continued and we spoke a lot about relationships, work and the future. The date, too, was very good and I felt like our ideologies and values matched. That was the day we also had our first kiss. After that, we went out multiple times in the span of 2 weeks. She met a lot of my close friends and I met her mother, and in general we just had a great time with each other. When my trip home was about to end, I was dejected since I felt like this would end with the distance, but on the contrary. After I came back, the conversations picked up a lot. We started speaking to each other in greater frequencies quite naturally, it just happened. The conversations are very deep and also flow very quickly and naturally. The way I described it to my close friends is a feeling where you've known someone for far longer than you actually have. We spoke a lot about things we like, hobbies, and other lightweight stuff. But we also spoke about past trauma, past relationships and the sort. Now would be a good time to also mention that I recently, a year ago, came out of a long-term relationship, 8 years, where 5 of these were long distance. I also couldn't stop myself from comparing these 2 relationships and realizing that the distance in this newly found relationship felt a lot better. She makes me feel secure and safe. During our conversations, it came up that she already had plans to maybe move at some point to the country that I live in. This was a plan she had before she met me. However, more immediately, she has a plan to come visit me in a few months to holiday and meet some of my friends here. Coming to the point now. Out of nowhere, earlier today, she messaged me letting me know that she had something quite important to tell me. Too long did not read. The text is that she broke the fact that she lied to me about her age when she first met me and that she is 18, not 20. She was silent about it because she thought nothing would come out of this. However, once things became more serious, she felt that she had to tell me instead of living in the lie. I'm now really confused with what to do. I still like the person I got to know, but at the same time she is young. I've only ever dated people around my age, plus 2 years. I had come to terms with her being 20, but 18 scares me. I'd appreciate honest and straight feedback. Objectively, she's a dishonest teenager who brings older men home from clubs. That's not a great prospect, emo. Let's face it, she is too young. She lied to you because she knew a 25-year-old isn't going to go out with an 18-year-old. Plus she probably wasn't 18 when she met you. Her goal seems to be to move to your country. That's her goal. I would back away. If she's admitting to 18 now, I'd suspect she's actually younger. And she is maturity-wise a kid. You are an adult. Date other adults. Also, I'm betting she is younger than 18. The issue isn't her age here. It's the lie. And don't be surprised for her age to drop further. Basically, she's starting off a relationship on dishonesty. Be sensible and move on. Dude, I wouldn't be shocked if she wasn't 18, or for a lot of your relationship she wasn't 18, which is why now she's telling you. End it.